talk to me about whether or not you are indeed on standby with the IEC chairperson, and what does he have to say about the threats of this strike action?
All right, thanks, Oli. Indeed, the chairperson of the national chairperson of the IEC, Clan Mashinini, is addressing the media. Sir, thank you so much. Take us through what are the issues that, as the IEC, you encountered as today the special votes are beginning.
Well, it's still early for now to give any report, and later on in the day, the CEO will be providing a nationwide report about the preparations. I only just came to this voting station because this is where I was allowed by the CEO to cast my special vote, simply because we are working, those of us who are working or won't be able to come to the polls on Wednesday. So this is my voting station, and I took the opportunity also just to have a look as to the state of readiness and preparation in this station, and I was very impressed with what I've seen, and even the members of the public that I came across as I was coming through indicated that everything was in order. So we're very pleased, and this should be exemplary throughout the country, that all our stations should be opened on time and everything be in place and ready for the voters to come and cast their votes.
Yeah, interesting you're saying it's still early to give a report, but we know that overnight there was a marathon meeting between the IEC, particularly the Chief Electoral Officer, as well as the workers, wherein the workers are essentially threatening to down tools on Wednesday if you as the IEC do not implement some of the recommendations of the Human Resources Review, including salaries and upgrading of certain scales. Clearly, these are serious issues if indeed the elections could be interrupted.
Well, firstly, I think it's important that the purpose of being here was to do with what I've reported to you. Now, procedurally, as the Commission, we receive a consolidated report about the preparations and the opening, usually around 11 o'clock. So that's what I was referring to. Now, if you have a specific question you want to ask, just ask the question. Yeah. Don't present it as though there's something that is being otherwise. I was
not really trying to cast aspersions, but
that's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, from our side, the report I'm referring to is about the readiness, the preparation, and the opening.
Yeah, but talk to us about these issues I raised.
Yeah. Now, with respect to matters that are related to labor issues, the Chief Electoral Officer is in discussion with the labor unions about those matters, and when we are ready and finalize the issues, then they will be reported. But from our side as a commission, overall, we do not have what one will say are outstanding issues on matters of salary.
But are you worried workers can go on strike on Wednesday?
Well, the laws are very clear on that aspect, that as far as the elections are concerned, certain conduct is prohibited, irrespective whether a person is a worker or otherwise. So, but that's not what is critical at this stage. The issue is that there was a request to meet with the CEO, and the CEO has met with the unions and has reported back and is in engagement and discussions with them. When that is completed, then it will be reported.
But I guess South Africans would want to know what is the position of the IEC on this matter.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Are you going to give them what they want, payments, salaries?
Well, I'm not in a position to discuss matters that are under discussion through the media, and with all due respect, the CEO is handling those matters.
And now, Mr. Mashinini, talking about a state of readiness, just outside Tanini, a ballot box was found lying on the ground on the side of the road. What does then that say? Are we expecting to have any more issues like that? Are these ballot papers that were found, are they valid ballot papers?
My understanding at this stage is that they are alleged ballot boxes, not ballot papers, that are said to have been found. We have been talking with the CEO about those things, and he is receiving the report from the officers that are on the ground regarding those ballot boxes. Now, if those boxes are in any way our boxes, it would be regrettable, and the matter will be attended to accordingly with whoever the officer is. But at this stage, our understanding is that it is not ballot papers. It is just the ballot boxes that was destined to a station. Now, how they actually got where on the ground, we are not yet sure, but we will be providing a report on that.
And at this particular voting station, we have a cancer patient who's here, and he's saying that he wasn't able to register because he was in hospital. We saw earlier this morning you giving him your word that you will help him resolve those issues, whether or not he will be able to vote today. Does this count for other people across the country who are in a similar situation as him?
Not necessarily. I think there are matters that of compassion that when you come across as an official, you look at what other alternatives can you make to assist the person, because the case is understandable, but also the Commission does not have discretion on certain matters that are required to be adhered to by the law. Now we will look at what is a compassionate solution that one can find.
Mr. Mashinini, if you could just explain to us, I mean, there have been complaints coming in around the elections, different parties complaining about maybe the defacing of posters. Can you tell us how the electoral court is going to work? How does it work, and how does it fit into the whole electoral dispute mechanism?
The electoral court is responsible for making a determination with respect to any matters that are related to the breach of the code of conduct or prohibited conduct. And those matters, when they get reported, the Commission passes them to our directorate responsible for offences. And if there's a basis of taking those matters to the electoral court, then the chief electoral officer will then make that decision. And it's up to the courts then how they then decide on those issues.
Now, with those complaints, which ones would have the most severe consequences then? If maybe it could even result to the elections being nullified or a certain party being disqualified or penalized.
I would not want to preempt what the courts would say, but I think our Act provides very clearly that the offences, they range from certain fines or disqualification and so on and so forth.
A quick one, Chairperson. I don't know if you heard the leader of the UDM, Bantu Holomisa, over the weekend when he was addressing his supporters here in Gauteng. He said, actually, political parties must watch the IEC like a hawk. Some people would say perhaps it's casting doubts on your systems to a point that elections can even be rigged. I mean, what's your response to that?
No, we as the Commission, we put a premium on transparency because this is very critical in ensuring the integrity of the processes as well as the embracing by all the stakeholders of the outcomes of the elections. We therefore encourage not only the political parties, but we also encourage domestic and international observers to actually provide that oversight and the check and balance that is actually part of our electoral system. In fact, it is the cornerstone of why the electoral system of South Africa has such a level of credibility in 5 successive national elections and provincial elections. When we announce the results, they've always been embraced by all the parties concerned. How then a party or any individuals choose to watch, it's up to them. But yes, we encourage that there should be those checks and balances, and everybody should actually, who are stakeholders, we encourage that they should be there and vigilant in our voting stations, including the political parties and their party agents.
Mr. Mashinini, the DA, the last time we spoke with them on the readiness of the elections, they said that they would have they want their own tags to seal the ballot boxes. I want to find out if this is possible. Can the DA be able to have their own tags to seal the boxes as we have seen this morning?
I'm not aware, I can't speak on their behalf, but the system, as you have seen, is that there are sales which are the authorized sales, and these sales are put in the presence of all the party agents, and we think that is adequate. But if there's any other mechanism that any party may want to suggest, we may look at it. But as far as the sales are concerned, they have to be authorized.
Mr. Mashinini, the 6th and the 7th are set down for special or registered voters who won't be able to vote on for whatever reason. If due to unforeseen circumstances they can't do so, can they register? Can they vote on Wednesday?
Yes, it still be possible. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We're good. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, just